And welcome back. Sorry it's been a long hiatus for me. I am dealing with a little bit of congestion, and I had no voice the other day. Sleeping in a hotel room that is, for some reason, set at 78 degrees. People aren't used to the north. That's all I got to say. It was -10, and I may or may not have gotten a really bad sore throat from sitting in a hotel room like that. Just throwing that one out there.
You mean a sauna?
Oh my God! Did you hear that voice?
You mean a 78 degrees?
Hey, welcome back with those wheels.
I keep my apartment at like 68 to 72.
Dude,
thank you for having me.
Dude, my house.
Happy back.
My house is set at like 64 to 70, and I get yelled at all the time about it. Maybe because I'm just a cheapskate when it comes to money.
You probably are.
But I do get yelled at about it all the time. That being said, sorry I missed you guys. There's been a lot that's kind of happened with the conversations with coaching and everything that's going on around the NFL. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard at this point. We were talking about it a little bit before we had that little bit of break with everybody was getting colds and the freeze, and your mom had water pipe issues, right? Like
her drain.
Did you have to help clear your mom's pipes?
Hey, now don't be saying that. But no, so the drain pipe in her shower is frozen solid.
You're off cam, by the way.
Oh, my bad.
Like way off cam. So scoot in and then lean out. That's better. Now you can lean out and have fun with it.
Rookie mistakes, ladies and gentlemen. Rookie mistakes.
But yeah, no, it's been cold, right? Like, and even today, I went to work today and I was like, man, I didn't dress for this. I dressed for like 25 to 30 degrees, and it was 10 to 15.
It's 20 out, but the real feel is -1.
No, when I went to work this morning, it was 15. And that was like the warmest it's gotten.
Yeah, it's cold.
So it's cold out. I mean, you don't usually see me wearing long sleeves and a T-shirt over the long sleeves in my basement. And Wheels came down here, and he's like, I need to turn the heat around. So
cold.
it's been a good start to a wonderful weekend. Again, I feel bad because I did miss the show the past few days, and it's not something I will normalize for me. And I know a lot of people are like, just take a break from the show, take your time. I can't do it. I'm going to try to stay as consistent as possible, as updated as possible. And I got some fun information for a lot of you guys. I know you can do all this research yourself, but you come here to talk to us and do some research with us, and I do appreciate that for you guys. We'll get into it today. First things I want to talk about are coaching. Like, can we talk about where we see coaches at right now in the NFL and kind of give me some insight on what you've gotten so far in the news, Wheels?
So we now have two kind of breaking stories, I guess you can say, over the past 48 to 72 hours, is that Jim Harbaugh and both Bill Belichick have had their second interviews with Atlanta. So
I love it.
I'm really happy with that. At this point, I'm not mad with what either coach goes there.
I am.
I think Bill fits that system more. I don't know if Desmond Ritter's the answer, so I think they draft the quarterback this year without a doubt. And then for Jim, I know I said it a few weeks back. I think it's the Chargers for me. I don't think he fits that mentality of Atlanta. He just doesn't fit that city. And I know that's kind of a stupid take, I guess you can say, but it doesn't make much sense to me. I don't like that fitment for him.
I know that Jim, and this just came on by ML Sports, was at a pro-life march. I was really proud of the guy.
Maybe he's not going to California. Then.
I was proud of the guy.
He's going to Atlanta.
Both are very liberal areas. Like, I'm just saying, I'm kind of proud of the guy. But like that being said, I do remember talking about this a little bit prior to all these hirings. Like as soon as Arthur Smith Arthur Smith got fired.
And as soon as Arthur Smith's fired, and we've kind of been calling the Bill Belichick thing since midseason. We said they pretty much, from the reports that we've seen, it was pretty much, hey, let's finish out the season.
Let me caveat that because I also had heard reports that Bill had an inside agreement already set in place. I remember I said that multiple times. So I just want to caveat that I was under the perception that Bill was going to continue in New England, but now as the year progressed, it seemed more and more obvious.
Yeah, but you did call I think he's going to Atlanta, and you called that, what, 3 or 4? It was literally, I think, right after he got fired.
It was immediately after he got fired, and Ryan now has the text messages to prove it, and I was. Oh, we have an ad. There's
Okay,
an ad.
just
There's
hold
an
on.
ad in the
That's okay.
background.
It's okay. Just hold on.
It's Harbor Freight too. Hey, not sponsored by anybody in this video. Just an FYI.
Support your local Harbor Freight.
Yeah. That's so funny.
But no, I was trying to find the text, and I couldn't remember what, because we have so many different group texts. It's hard to keep track
this
of.
was a direct text message between me and Ryan. I told him I called it. This was something that we said on the show. I think the Saturday before I texted him officially.
Yeah, and then you.
And I think he was fired the Sunday after that game.
And then we had the show Wednesday, and that's when you came out and told me.
Yeah, and then I said that there was rumblings at that point. So Ryan was just like, "Hey, prove it." And I was like, "Bro, I just showed you my text message. I literally showed you my text message."
Here's my receipts.
Now Ryan made a great statement, and it was funny. I can't remember what he said. He said some craziness about like coaching hirings and firings and something like that. And I'm like, better put that in text.
So
because I want to make sure that you called it 3 years in advance. And it was like a 3 years in advance statement that he said. It was crazy.
Like we talked about earlier, this is like we went months back. We said 6 to 8 coaches a year, and we're seeing it again. I mean, we're just seeing it again. I think
eventually you have to settle in, right? Like eventually all these teams got to settle in. You can't be doing this 2 to 3 years for every freaking coach because and us as Cleveland fans, right? One of us is a Cleveland fan. We know that you got to. We know you got
Bills jersey on, doesn't mean
we always wearing a Bills jersey.
Die-hard Browns fan.
But we know you have to give a coach more than 2 years. Like it shows itself.
It's what did I say about Pickett? Give me 3 years. It's the same thing for coaching. Give me 3 years.
Oh, also, we have more recent news that there is a contract offering currently on the table. They're just in negotiations conversations with Antonio Pierce on the Raiders.
Thank you. Oh, my gosh. Because I saw...
So that has recently kind of come out into the recent limelight is that it seems that what me and you were talking about is that Antonio Pierce is the front runner for this candidate.
Well, if you remember the locker room, Max Crosby pretty much said... If you don't sign
Antonio Pierce, I'm requesting a trade, is what he said. That's exactly what he said.
They made this mistake
There's no roundabout argument there. That's what he said.
And they made this mistake with Josh McDaniels because after they fired Gruden, right, they brought in an intermediate or whatever head coach, and
they continued to win.
They fired him. Here's the door. And they brought in Josh McDaniels. And then fired him, and they bring in Antonio
And then
Pierce.
started to score on the offense. The offense started to produce under Antonio Pierce's tutelage, which was great to see because
it was new blood in the locker room. There was just they respected the guy.
Yeah, and I think Mike or Josh McDaniels doesn't give. He tried to get everybody involved in the offense, but didn't find ways to scheme his best players open. And I think that was the biggest issue with Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, and there was also...
He's not a good offensive guy.
No, we saw that in Denver and again in Las Vegas. And another reason why that he lost that locker room early on is and the ownership did with Derek Carr, the way they kind of treated him. I mean, Derek Carr didn't want to leave.
That's not a bad point when you look at the Foster Moreau release and you look at the Max Crosby friendship between Derek Carr and Max Crosby and you look at the Devontae Adams situation, like, whoa, bro, like this is a poor decision from the front office. And I wouldn't be shocked if like most of those players still don't want to play there just for Antonio Pierce if it's a front office argument. Like, I don't trust the front office at this point. It's not business as business is because you wouldn't pay Jimmy Garoppolo the same money that Derek Carr was making essentially.
Yeah, I mean, and Derek Carr is a much better quarterback. And it just...
At least he stays on the field more, right? Like, that's the argument is Derek Carr is consistently on the field for 14 to 17 games a year, whereas Jimmy Garoppolo, he's played 2 seasons in 10 years.
He's not healthy. He's just not. He's the Derrick Rose of football. I hate to say it. He is. The dude's always injured.
Dude, I hate basketball. I love that comp.
It is. He's the dude's always injured.
He's got such good talent when he's on the field, but when is he on the field?
Yeah.
And that's a big issue. And actually, he didn't look good on the field this year.
No, and he looked good.
They were starting Aiden O'Connell with him healthy. Like, he didn't look good on the field this year.
And Aiden O'Connell, I don't think Aiden O'Connell is the answer. Maybe they're going to give him one more year. I don't see them drafting a quarterback right now with kind of where they're at. It's a goofy spot. They need to build up a lot of that O-line, the trenches. They need a whole lot of help other than quarterback. I think you can skate by for the next few years with Aiden O'Connell. You can be competitive in that division because the Broncos are essentially starting over. The Chargers, they're getting a new head coach. The Chiefs are really the only team in that division that is just constantly competitive throughout the last few years. So with the Raiders, I don't think that you draft a quarterback unless you can maybe get Bo Nix late in the first or early in the second, but I don't see him dropping that far. I would definitely go. You need to build up your offensive line and your defensive trenches. You can probably sign some secondary guys, but we've seen corners and defensive backs go late that have proven to have much value for where they have been picked. So I don't know if you're drafting like a.
It looks like he was drafted in the 6th round too. Aiden O'Connell.
And yeah, he was Purdue. I liked him in college. I mean, I saw a lot of him play because he plays.
You
in the
and
Big
Ryan
Ten.
both liked him in the combine.
Yes.
You and Ryan both liked him in the combine.
He's just.
But he's
a wish version of Josh Allen.
I kind of agree with you, but when we're looking at coaching situations, this is a good fit, right? Antonio Pierce.
Antonio Pierce. He's
ride it out, right? Ride it out.
I don't see why not.
What's the problem with promoting from within? Like, ride it out. Ride it out.
If they said, hey, you're going to be our head coach, we're not promising it to you, but if you show an improvement,
well, a 1-year deal. See what happens.
I think 1 to 2 year deal they're going to give him. I mean, it's just I
wouldn't be shocked for
I don't know.
I think a 3-year deal in around 50, right? Like 10 to 15 million a year. Like that's starting coach money.
Yeah, you know what I really hate about the NFL
is money.
It's not that. Is that I can't find head coaching salaries. College head coaches you can. Players you can.
Yeah, you can with the NFL.
I think the NFL just needs to
it's somewhere between 10 15 million.
Yeah, I want to see what they're making. I want to see it. I mean, I don't think it's going to matter much, but I would love to see because the Browns are paying like multiple head coaches for like 5 years.
It matters enough. I think it's close enough to where it's worth the move to the NFL, but I don't think it's far enough away to where you bank on a career in the NFL over college.
Well, and that's
the argument, right? If you're getting $100 million in college for over 10 years, that's $10 million a year. That's a Big Ten school, right? Like that's a school.
Well, we saw the Michigan,
right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's a Big Ten school, $10 million a year. That doesn't happen in a lot of schools, right?
No.
But if you're going to go to a Clemson or a USC or a school like that, you're looking probably somewhere around $7 to $8 million a year to be a head coach, and that's great freaking money in college. Why would I risk going somewhere else when one? This is from a personal standpoint. Coaching is about developing people. And in the NFL, it's not about developing people. It's about managing people. There's a big difference between going from college players to NFL players. And that's why Saban, I love so much, because for him, it was about the growth of the person, and the player, not just the player himself.
Well, and I think I love how you changed to that because I agree. Nick Saban, we saw him with the Dolphins. Not a good NFL head coach, but he developed. He
wasn't bad, but
no, he developed within. He created a healthy environment for that team and players to thrive in. And at that point, I think that he said, you know what, I'm comfortable with this. This is what I know to do. This is my bread and butter. I know what I can do here with these players if I continue to get them.
Right.
And that's what he did. And talking about Alabama, they hired Washington's head coach, which I do like.
Yeah, and that's more money for him. And I actually think Washington had a great ability this year, and I didn't see that hiring. When did that happen?
That happened last
because I saw was it Bill O'Brien got hired as the OC for the Ohio State? I saw that. Not a fan of that personally, but Bill O'Brien's been a decent college guy, so I'm not upset about it because the one thing that's been lacking in Ohio State is production on the offense when needed. So I think he might add a little bit to that offense. But I kind of want to know how much he's worked with Brian Hartline too, because now I don't want Hartline to lose his job because his development of wide receivers in Ohio State has been astounding in the last 5 years.
DeBoer, and that was trying to see.
I just didn't hear about it.
He got hired either the beginning of the week or late last week.
I just didn't hear about it. And
which, I mean...
That's great. I mean, that's awesome. I think that's a great promotion for him. I think going from Washington, not a small school, but not really a big school.
It's going to take 2 to 3 years to be competitive.
I disagree. I think when you look what he did with 5th and 6th year players or 5th year players in Washington in a small conference, right?
He's going to bring some of those guys. I guess that's true with the transfer portals.
He might bring some with the transfer portal, but that's not my issue. My issue is that team went to the Big Ten, right? So you're going to be overshadowed in the Big Ten because you lost half of your starters.
Yeah.
At least on the offense. You lost a big amount of those starters. So now you go to Alabama, the SEC, who's not, I don't think, mixing up anything.
They are. They added Texas and Oklahoma, which, I'm going to be honest, doesn't impress me because
Texas kind of impresses me.
Texas, but
it's
Oklahoma's
like Washington, right?
Yeah,
Texas and Washington are kind of like.
Oklahoma's just, okay. I'm sorry, but you know who's going to rule that division or that conference, right? It's going to be Bama.
If
Bama, Georgia.
Yeah, it's Georgia if Kirby doesn't leave because Kirby is the most tenured coach at this point, right?
And at this point,
maybe Clemson. Well, Clemson's not SEC,
Dabo.
is it?
No, Clemson's ACC.
Okay.
Them and Florida State Seminoles.
So Dabo's.
That would be so. They just need to get rid of the ACC. Just make it Big Ten, SEC.
I'm okay with going. I'm okay with going to 4 power divisions, right?
Yeah,
like if you go SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and ACC.
Oh, the Big 12, I think they're dissolving.
Is that dissolving next year?
The Pac-12's dissolved. They're dissolved completely.
I know the Pac-12. I don't think the Big 12 dissolved.
I think they're going to soon.
But I'm just saying, if you power conference 4 power conferences, now we can have a conversation about top 2 teams in each power conference.
Yeah, and
going to the 8, right?
And then you
that makes
added
sense.
the 12-team playoff, which the 2 top teams get a bye.
That makes sense.
But
right. I don't want to get into college too much yet, right? Because we have so much college talk coming up here. And by the way, like I think it's going to be phenomenal. The college talks we're going to have in store this year. My comps are way
like
better.
It
makes you mad, but there's so much. I liked him coming out of college, and you have to understand that
his play I get. So
and he was drafted in the top 5, bro. Like that's a comp.
Russell was a 3rd-round pick.
No, not Russ.
Oh.
You're my Bo Nix comp that he doesn't like that either. So, he was drafted in the top 5, man.
Who?
I'm not giving you the comp now. That's a for live on air kind of conversation when we get to quarterbacks.
I can see where Bo Nix has touches of Russell Wilson, but I think he's more accurate.
I never comp Bo to Russell Wilson ever. My only comp to Russell Wilson is Caleb Williams. I think that's
Maybe
Caleb
that's
Williams.
What it was. Yeah, no, you're right. It was Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't want you to bring up the Bo Nix one because I'll get to it and we'll have a conversation about it.
Bo Nix.
We'll talk about it. And I know you do. He's still like my 4th quarterback on the board at this point.
Another NFL coach, Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, that was the most recent, right?
He's the OC for Chicago, right?
No. He's interviewed. So you have not Todd Monken. Who's the old OC for the Ravens?
That was Todd. No,
that's the current
it wasn't
OC.
Todd Monken.
But the old OC for the Ravens interviewed as the offensive coordinator for the Bears, along with who did you just? There's so many names for these people.
Greg Roman.
Okay, so Greg Roman interviewed for the Bears, and this is what Ryan's perspective is, and I don't disagree with him. If Greg Roman goes to the Bears, Justin Fields stays.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury
Cliff Kingsbury goes to the Bears, he currently is the USC
quarterbacks.
No,
quarterback. He's like a quarterback.
He oversees the offense.
Yeah, he's like a quarterback. It's weird.
No, he oversees the offense. He's like the assistant offensive coordinator, or
he's a towel boy.
It's a weird. No, it might be a box. He might be in the box. I have no idea. But
I just don't like Cliff Kingsbury.
But the argument
he's
is
a senior offensive analyst.
Okay, see,
and quarterback coach.
So he's the guy in the box, right? Okay. So the issue is if Cliff Kingsbury goes to,
and they're drafting Caleb.
The argument would be because he got to be with Caleb Williams that they're going to say, hey, if we bring you in and draft Caleb, what can you do with this offense?
And I think that's stupid. The dumbest thing Chicago could ever do, because we've had this conversation, and I'm just going to say it one more time. Caleb does not want to be there. He does not. I know you said there's nothing out there.
Might,
he doesn't.
But he might if Cliff goes, right?
But I don't care. If I'm the Bears fan, you said months ago, I don't want to go there. No. Justin Fields loves that city.
That wasn't even months ago. I think he said it like last week.
Justin
he came out and
Field-
officially said it.
If Chicago does this, they deserve everything that comes to them. I'm sorry, Bo. I know Bo feels the same about us with Justin Fields. I think he is the answer. You just got to give him a little bit more talent and a little bit better of a defense. And
I
they're
completely
not
agree.
Bad. And he looked really good when he came back. He
The end
revitalized
stretch,
that
they were
offense.
fine. The end stretch, I mean, they had potential to be in the playoffs in the end stretch.
And they almost beat us. They should have beat us. He doesn't drop that pass, we lose. Darnell Mooney, I mean, that's a loss for us.
That was a crazy play.
And that, I mean, I just feel
That was such a crazy
and
Hail Mary play.
That game was not on Justin. He played that game great. I hope they don't give up on the kid.
That's my argument with you, by the way, in Stefanski. They go for a Hail Mary at that point. Look, they almost won the game.
I get it.
And then you got Stefanski who walks to the locker room down by 10 at the half, knowing Texans get the ball in the second half.
I wasn't happy with that.
That to me, but it's not the only time he's ever done it. He's continuously done crap like this in
That's
key
because he's
situations.
conservative because he doesn't want to get burned, which I get because.
But then don't do the same play over and over and over again because that's stupid too.
Let's just touch on that. All those firings made absolutely zero sense in my mind, but I feel like somebody needed to be used as a scapegoat. And hey, I don't think that was coaching. I think that was ownership saying, hey, we need to change something.
For who?
Or Barry. For the Browns. None of that made sense. Stop Mitchell.
Oh, no.
Makes no sense. Alex Van Pelt makes no sense. He doesn't call plays.
It was a scapegoat. I told you this.
And
it was
the
a
tight ends
scapegoat.
coach. And now
Cleveland felt they needed, which I don't think they needed a scapegoat. You had 28% of your team on the IR.
And your defense fell flat. The only guy who looked like he wanted to be there, who had any heart, I'm sorry to say, was JOK. He did. That looked like the only guy.
Did he looked so good.
And him and
Anthony Walker didn't hurt us as much with the way he played in that game.
No, and then our secondary I don't know if they had the flu bug, if they were out the night before partying, or I don't know. They just looked
Ward wasn't in, was he?
Ward was playing.
Oh, yeah. I think
Emerson, I'm sorry. As much as I beef up Emerson, he disappeared in that game.
No, he didn't disappear. Emerson, my issue right now with Emerson is he's caught in no man's land. So when he's playing a 5-yard cushion when he should be playing press because he's the bigger corner. He's a man corner. He should be, and especially against Nico, punch him at the line, hit him hard.
Get him off his line.
That gives your time for your defense to get to the quarterback, and then your safety should come over top and help if you get beat.
Yeah, and Greg Newsome he looked
That's
bad.
how that's run.
Greg Newsome got burned 3 times.
He got
real
burned,
bad.
but he
real
never
bad.
lost his receiver, though. He never lost his receiver. He caught up to him for the most part. But there were points. But again, you're playing with a rookie safety. Hickman, I think his name was.
Yeah, I think
Ronnie Hickman.
I think that was the guy we drafted. Yeah,
did not look good.
No, but he was a late round pick. I mean,
didn't look good.
Grant Delpit, we missed Grant Delpit.
Grant Delpit in that game was a necessity.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to harp on that game. Obviously, we lost with the weight. It's just.
No, it's a good transition, right? Because when you look at that and you look at still the number 1 secondary in the NFL, right? And then you get to C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud threw like 76% accuracy against us, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's going into this 4 o'clock game coming up here in the next couple hours.
He was the first rookie since 1950 or 1953 to be a number 1 defense as a rookie. Number 1 total defense.
In the first round of the playoffs.
And in the first round, yes, correct. And
number 1 passing defense.
Yeah, and so that's a good segue.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go right into Houston, right? These teams win. Now they got to play Saturday again. So
you got the Ravens and Baltimore today, 4:30. The Ravens all-time, including playoffs against the Texans are 7-0. The temperature for today's game.
11-2 all-time.
No, at home.
Okay.
At home, they're 7-0.
But I was saying
11-2 all time, 7-0 at home, including playoffs.
There was only one playoff game, right? And it was Joe Flacco, and the last time they played,
it was
Anquan Bolden was the receiver. I was looking it up too. It was funny because I looked at those players. Dude, Billy Cundiff was their kicker.
They had a rookie quarterback that year too. Oh my God.
Who? Houston?
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, probably.
No. It wasn't Deshaun.
Oh God, I know they had Arian Foster.
They had
Arian Foster was on the Texans that year. Oh man, it's so funny looking back at the players that were on.
It was a terrible quarterback.
Well, yeah, because they drafted Deshaun Watson shortly after, right? I'm trying to think who. Oh no! Oh my God! No.
You know who I'm talking about.
Oh my God! He's so subpar. Oh my God.
Yes. Yes,
Oh my God.
you know.
Because everybody's like, it's his breakout year. It's his breakout year. It's his breakout year. And he never broke out. Oh my God. Matt Ryan keeps coming to my mind,
That's
but
not- yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about. What the heck was his name? I wish there was somebody in chat right now, because that would be, I know somebody knows who I'm talking about.
TJ Yates.
No, that's
Yes,
not who
it
I was
was
thinking
TJ
about. That's not who I was thinking about, though.
It was TJ Yates.
What quarterbacks did they have? Dude, there's one guy.
Good God. That dude was a first-round pick, too, I think. That's even worse.
TJ Yates might have been.
That
he
was like
might
one of
have
the worst drafts.
Houston Texans
For
quarterbacks.
quarterback.
I gotta find this really quick, because it's gonna bother the heck out of me.
Hold on, TJ
Houston
Yates.
Texans QBs. You'll know
Oh, no,
exactly.
sorry. He was a fifth-round pick. Sorry.
You'll know exactly who I'm talking about. Matt Schaub.
Ah,
Matt Schaub. And that was the year 20.
no, 2011
No,
was...
2011 was him. No, Matt Leinart, TJ Yates, Matt Schaub.
Yeah, but TJ Yates played in that game. He
He might have.
Yeah,
But Matt Schaub was on that team. That's who I was thinking of. He was so, and that's why I was thinking Matt Ryan.
Yeah, he was so subpar.
That's why I was like, he was so subpar.
Yeah, and as much as I want to take Houston in this game, they're playing in Baltimore. It's 12 degrees, and it's going to get colder, and it's a little windy.
But CJ Stroud's from Ohio.
CJ, no, he's not from Ohio. He's playing
Ohio State, though.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's used to cold weather games.
NFL's a different level. You playing, you can see, bring up the playoffs real quick, our little thing, so I can.
Oh, I don't have. That's old.
So
That one's the old one.
As I know, many people have heard the stories.
Oh, I guess that is the updated
the colors are purple and red, and people called out mid-season when they already announced the colors and all that, like a couple weeks back. The NFL's fixed, because if it's the Ravens versus the Niners, then that's your colors that you pretty much announced on week 15. That's a little suspicious.
But Las Vegas, it's in the desert, purple and red, the painted desert. That's not fixed. Like, that's Las Vegas.
No, but people are talking about it. It's
Then what was last year's colors?
I don't think they had colors last. Oh no, it was red green.
Yeah, none of those teams were red or green last year.
It was.
Well, I guess
Chiefs
red.
and Eagles, baby.
No, it wasn't
Yep.
red green.
Yes, it
wasn't red
was.
green. No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Now I think you're just. Now you're
23 Super Bowl.
Dude, you are so
logo.
under the conspiracy now. You are so.
I'm not. Go look at it. Let's type in 2023 Super Bowl logo.
No, because it was Arizona, so it was like purple, red, green. It's Arizona. All right, let's do this one more time. Let's go 2022. It's not fair because those reference to the point. Okay, 2022.
What was that?
That was Tampa Bay, right?
Tampa versus the Chiefs.
So you got all red with a hue of orange. Damn. Hold on. Let's do this one more time. Let's go 2021. No way. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. 2021. Don't tell me that's the Rams Super Bowl.
It is. It is, buddy.
Versus who?
The Rams versus the Bengals.
All right, so good. There is a Miami Dolphins color, which is why I said don't tell me that's the Rams. It is kind of blue. No. Nothing there resembles the Rams. Nothing.
The gold on the bottom doesn't represent the Rams.
What was the other team? What was the other team? That's yellow. That's. Where's their orange? There's no orange there.
They have yellow. They're yellow helmets.
The Bengal? The Rams?
Yeah, the Rams. They have a big yellow freaking.
I know. Yeah, no, but that's a Steelers yellow. That's not a Rams yellow. Yeah, get out of here with this. Get out of the get these conspiracies out of here.
Shut your mouth, you bastard!
So I hate you right now.
It's not.
Okay, so how do these teams match up? Because that's really what it comes down to.
They don't match up well. So you have a young, high-flying offense going up against, in my opinion, the second best defense in the league with the Ravens.
Well, they are the second best passing defense in the league.
Yeah, they are the second. And you're going into a very tough stadium to play. You cold weather.
Cold and snow. I think Baltimore's weather is snowy right now, right?
12 degrees and windy. My heart wants to take the Texans. Not that I hate the Ravens. I just want to see C.J. Stroud. I want to see this rookie, push through. As much as I love this kid, I don't see it. I don't think they're going to be able to stop the running game. I think Lamar Jackson's going to open up a lot of the field, and he's going to get some chunk yards early on in the game. I think him and Stroud both throw one interception, but I don't think this game is very close. I think the Ravens win by 10.
The Ravens, the last two matchups, since Lamar has been on the team, the Ravens have blown out the Texans each time.
Yeah, and these teams played week 1. It was like 9-30. This is a much different, much more confident C.J. Stroud
competent.
Yes, and
right?
competent.
And I would argue the defense is more competent now.
Yeah, and let's be honest, to open up against the Ravens, they were at home.
But
I think. Actually, no. I think they were in Baltimore.
I think they went to Houston.
Hold on.
I think they traveled the first game of the year. I think their first 3 games were away. I think it was like Houston, Steelers, and then they came home. I believe I've argued with Ryan this a few times.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let me go back.
And I even told him, I was like, I don't even think that's a time difference.
No, they were in Baltimore. It was 9-25.
Okay.
September 10th, the home opener or season opener.
A lot of people might hate me for this, right? But to me, this is underdog week. I really truly believe it feels underdog week.
I want to take them. I do.
I'm going to take them. I'm 100% going to take the Houston Texans this week. And here's why I'll take the what?
Paper.
Here's why I take the Houston Texans this week. I think that C.J. Stroud has thrown 4 picks all year. Right?
And they weren't bad picks.
3 were in one game.
Yes. That was his
Arizona.
I was to say that was his one bad game of the year, and you usually have one by.
And that was Kyler Murray's comeback game, I believe.
Is there a pen over there by chance? 'Cause I do not see one.
Yeah, I think that was Kyler.
I got one. We're good.
I thought that was Kyler Murray's comeback game too, because I think I projected that the Cardinals would have won that game. But the reason why I got the Texans winning this, for 2 reasons. One, best quarterback wins. Personally, that's how I feel in this game. The best quarterback wins. Both have been playing phenomenal this year, and they both have been super productive this year in the pass. One's been way more productive in the run than the pass, but now they got to change that offense because they activated Melvin Gordon to the roster. Melvin Gordon will get snap shares along with Gus, along with Justice Hill. Now,
no, not Melvin Gordon. Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. They cut Melvin Gordon.
Yes,
sorry,
correct.
they cut.
You're good. I almost said the same thing.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook has been activated.
What's your key to victories for each of these teams, real quick?
So let me get to the other reason why it's kind of a lock for me for Houston. And it's not a lock is because there's only 2 games today. I think Houston has the upper advantage in this game because Mark Andrews is also out.
Has he been confirmed out?
Yes.
That's
huge. Mark Andrews is not playing this game. And Marlon Humphrey is also not playing this game. And that is really big considering if Nico continues to do what Nico's been doing, they got to put their second corner on him.
And Marlon Humphrey is the captain of the secondary, if I remember.
Not 100% sure. I think Roquan, but
no, Roquan is
he's the front. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I'm not 100%
the
sure.
Defensive backs.
Now, I still think they have Kyle Hamilton, which is phenomenal.
Yeah,
great safety.
That was a great draft pick. We loved him coming out of Notre Dame.
Great safety. But I think my issue is that where the Houston Texans excel right now, the Ravens are lacking.
Yeah, and so not to interrupt you, sorry.
No, you're good.
The one thing that the Texans need to do in this game that they really didn't do because they didn't have to is a run game. Get Devin Singletary involved early, whether you're passing it or doing checkdowns. Get him involved early because the key to victory for me is you got to keep the ball out of Lamar's hands. You got to sit there and just juice the clock as much as you can.
Oh, you know what? I should have looked that up.
And I love their defense. It's a young, flying offense and defense. These guys are playing with house money. Nobody anticipated them being here. Not us, not the national media. Everybody, if you remember, said C.J. Stroud was a stupid quarterback because he had one of the worst scores in what's the Wonderlic.
The Wonderlic test.
And
so stupid.
He's sitting there and pretty much saying, "Look at me now." And everybody's jumping on board like, "Oh yeah, this kid, yeah." And C.J. Stroud, he sees it. He sees the haters. I think what needs to happen is you need to get this running game involved early and often. And Nico is going to be double teamed. So this is the game where you're going to see what John Mechie and Robert Woods
But
and
John
the rest,
Mechie showed up last game.
Yes, he did. And
in a key time, which
and the
was
rest
great.
of this wide receiver core can do.
But let's not forget, man, Dalton Schultz, this is a comeback game. He did not play good against the Browns. Dalton Schultz is going to be productive. And guess where the Ravens lack? Covering tight ends in the middle of the field.
Brevin Jordan isn't no slouch either. He had a pretty good game against. I think he not just because I think he had one
that big run.
But the blocking, he had some really good blocking for some of those play action plays where he got the DNs, the linebackers or D tackles off their kind of course and just was able to open up so CJ Stroud could sit there and step in the pocket. And CJ Stroud, he looked comfortable all game. He did not look like he was worried once. He didn't look pressured. He was comfortable. He stepped up in the pocket when he was getting kind of some pressure was closing in. But that's what we saw in college. The kid, we saw this in the Georgia game. He's comfortable under pressure. He knows he has time. He trusts his instincts. He trusts his arms. He trusts his wide receivers and the rest of his team. And that's what you need in a rookie in this game is you need confidence. Confidence is key to winning in the NFL and playoffs. So I think
You're not wrong, which is the reason why younger teams usually don't go out of the divisional round, let alone go out of the wild card round, let alone go out of the division.
And you saw the confidence against the Browns. He was slinging it all over the field without a care in the world.
I'm telling you right now, CJ Stroud
is him.
CJ Stroud knows what CJ Stroud can do. And he doesn't go above and beyond. This is what CJ Stroud can do. I just think that Nico Collins is underestimated. Right? Like a lot of people just like Nico who?
This
Nico
is
who?
his third
Nico
year.
who?
This is his third year, and
I thought it was his second.
Third.
Is it his third?
John Mechie's second, because this is essentially John Mechie's rookie year because he was out with I think lymphoma or non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or some type of cancer, which he's healthy and back from. We're great to hear that. Tank Dell's rookie year is this year, and same with Xavier Hutchinson. Thank you.
You are good. It's just one of those things where I think that everybody's counted this team out, and there is a lot of talent on this team. And Nico has proven that, bro, he's got some talent. I think it is his
third
2021 draft, third round.
Yeah, and let's be honest.
No, yeah.
This is if he wins this game against the Ravens.
Oh, he should be MVP, but the problem is MVP is a regular season
if he wins
trophy.
This game against the Ravens, he is the best quarterback in the AFC South, no doubt.
He's the best quarterback in the NFL.
I don't doubt it. I think he's the best quarterback in the AFC South now, but people still love Trevor Lawrence. But we saw the Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones similarities. We saw those stats. They're close.
I did not. And I'm not going to consider a guy who has a horrible first year with Urban Meyer and compare him to
like I said, I'm not
Daniel Jones, who's had great coaches.
I'm not calling.
And I'm not going to say Dable's a great coach, but whatchamacallit before Dable was a good coach, and he coached a Super Bowl winning team.
Yeah.
So
I'm not. I'm just saying that the stats are similar, but T-Law is much better than Daniel Jones. I just think that C.J. Stroud, if he wins this game, he is for sure the best quarterback in that division, without a doubt. In my mind.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because Anthony Richardson was drafted in the same division, and he had very good upside at the beginning of the year.
We just
don't know what's going to happen because of his Cam Newton-esque personality and style of running. That he could be in a situation where, hey, you could be out in 6 years, like 7, 8, 9 years because of injuries.
It's RG3 all over again. It could be.
Well, he's way better than RG3.
Oh yeah.
Way better.
Hey, I honestly, Cleveland didn't want you.
I honestly think every quarterback in the NFL is better than RG3.
We'll talk about
currently.
Let's
Aiden O'Connell is better than RG3.
Oh my God! Did you see the discussion between him and Jay Gruden on Twitter?
I don't need to.
Great.
I don't need to.
So happy.
I'm assuming Gruden just pounced him.
No, this dude has been out of the NFL
and he keeps saying he played better than half these guys in the NFL, bro. Like, you were not good when you played. You were great college.
Year.
Great
one
college.
Good year, bro. You had one good year.
No, he didn't. I don't even think he threw for over 3,000 yards.
I think the year that he blew out his ACL, he did, I think. That was his, but Kirk.
RG3's trash.
Kirk was there too.
And he's still trash. He's a race-baiting piece of trash. That's all RG3 is.
I don't disagree.
That's all he is, man. All right, so
What's your final score? I'm taking the Ravens, 27-17.
the only way for the Ravens to win this game is to find a way to keep C.J. Stroud on the sideline. The opposite argument of which you said that the Houston Texans
And
need.
I think you need to get to him early.
I think Houston has a good enough and young enough defense that they could take Lamar out if they need to, and they're going to play very well. And Lamar's going to have to connect on that deep ball, which he didn't do in Week 17. Week 18 he did, right? Because, like, they destroyed Miami.
Yeah.
But Week 17, he struggled on that deep ball a little bit. And he has to connect on that deep ball with Zay. And he's got to find Odell. But 2 weeks of rest is tough.
Yeah, so I don't like sitting guys. I'm under the
2
belief
weeks?
I'd rather play, man.
But 2 weeks of rest, man.
Yeah, I'd rather play.
The Ravens haven't played football in this weather yet this year.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, because it was like 30 something when they played.
Dude, we were like
football in
50 degrees in most of November and December.
This last week and a half is the coldest it's been in Ohio, and most of the Midwest and Northeast.
And I would argue Lamar's not going to be as elusive in 30-degree weather.
No, and I think the only way that you really can stop CJ is not even maybe an interception here or there. It's pressure. If you need to get in his face, but like I said, the kid's confident. He'll throw it. He'll sling it right past you. He'll take the hit. He'll get back up. Lamar, I don't know, man.
And I don't think Roquan's going to scare him, man. He's been hit by everybody this year. Roquan's not going to scare him.
No.
That does not scare him.
He hasn't been hit.
And I'm going to be honest, you know what CJ's so good at, and it pisses me off? Throwing at defenders coming at him.
Like I said,
he's like, "Oh, you're coming at me?
Here you go. Bam.
Right over top of you." And he sees it so quick.
He's got the touch, man.
I'm going to tell you right now, not going to be a ridiculously high-scoring game. I think the over-under on this game,
it's probably 44 and a half.
43 and a half. You are.
I'm a degenerate. Thank you.
And the Ravens are favored by 9.5.
There's another game that we're going to talk about today.
How are the Ravens favored by 9.5?
Because everybody's counting out the Texans like they did against the Browns.
Yeah, but we were only favored by like 2. And it dropped to 1.5 before the game.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, to be honest, that's a 3-point. That's a
3-point swing.
but they were home, so that's a 3. Yeah, correct.
It opened up to 3.5.
Yeah, but it's also a 3-point swing because they're at home, so technically we were a 3-point advantage.
Yes,
they got home field advantage.
Yeah.
But I gotta give it to Houston, man. I'm gonna go 27. This is gonna and by the way, 2 of the best kickers in the NFL, right?
27.
Kyrie Fairbairn and Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
Right? So 2 of the best kickers in the NFL right now. I'm going to go 27.
24.
The
Ravens for once lose on a.
You know what? I'm gonna back it up. I'm gonna back it up. I'm gonna go 31-27. So I'm taking the over. Texans.
Okay.
And by the way, C.J. Stroud has thrown for over 270 yards 8 times this season. Lamar Jackson's only done it 3. So if they have to lean on Lamar's arm,
it's not going to work out.
Especially against Jalen Petrie, Derek Stingley, and I can't remember the other dude's name, it's going to be a tough game for them. All right, moving on from that game, getting into the other game that I know we're going to talk about today. Green Bay, another underdog, another team, by the way, who I was wrong on, and somebody else was not at this show. But another guy who is defying all odds and is going in to play the NFC number 1 seed in the 49ers, who apparently think they are the underdogs today, which is crazy, right?
They're 9.5 dogs. The Niners are
10-point favorite.
Yeah.
10-point favorite according to Las Vegas. But if you look at everybody that's betting on this game,
they're taking the Packers.
They're taking the Packers.
And give me the Packers
with the points, right? With the points at least, right?
Yeah, give me the Packers with the points. I'll take that all day long. Throw that in the parlay, do some player props. It's fine. I'm sorry, but compare these quarterbacks, Jordan Love. I'll take Jordan Love or Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I mean,
comparing these wide receiver rooms, obviously you got Debo and Ayuk, but I think the Packers room is deeper.
I think it It's young. It's young. I think it comes down to the best running back. I think this game comes down. No. In the game. I think this comes down to the best running back in the game. So, like I said, the Ravens, Houston, best quarterback wins this game.
Yeah.
For me, Niners, Green Bay, best running back wins this game. So whoever has the best running back stats in this game, and maybe that's an obvious because usually you run the ball when you're ahead, but I think the best running back in this maybe duo possibly. I don't know if you're going to have a duo in Green Bay. I know that if you're smart, you lead your offense through Aaron Jones. But I think the best running back comes out of this game as a winner. That's what I completely believe. So you pick in your mind who you think the best running back is. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to jump on the Wisconsin cheese train, but I'm definitely going to say that Green Bay is my favorite to win this game.
I think so. A lot of people were dogging Aaron Jones because he hasn't been healthy all year. He's been hurt on and off the field. But guess what?
He healthy, baby.
Maybe it's worked out. He's healthy, and he's healthy at the right time. So
CMC's
give me
also
Aaron
healthy.
Jones. Aaron Jones he's fresh. I don't think CMC is not as much as I love CMC. CMC is not as fresh as Aaron Jones.
I don't disagree with that. That's a great point because when you say fresh, you mean like CMC's played all year.
Yeah, he's played all year.
Whereas Aaron Jones only played like maybe 2 games at the beginning of the year, and then it's kind of been lingering. And then he finally came in like week 11, 12, and they're like, boom.
And now he has partial ownership of the Dallas Cowboys. So
home field advantage, right? Because isn't he from Dallas? And he's from Dallas.
Is he?
Yeah, home field advantage. Home field advantage.
I'm sorry, but the Niners, they don't feel like a true number one to me like the Ravens. They don't fit that.
The Ravens are the best team in the NFL.
Yes,
and the only reason I'm taking the underdogs is just because I think both underdogs are hot. They are hot. They have something to prove. They're both young teams, super young teams. Like, I can't believe Green Bay is the youngest team in the NFL because when you go look, I think the only reason is because of Robert Woods. That dude's like 35, brings the entire roster, and their left tackle, the dude,
Laramie Tunsil.
Laramie Tunsil's probably like 30 at this point, 33 somewhere in there. So maybe those two guys do kind of up that a little bit. But let me know what you think is the team's needs to win these games.
The Packers running game is definitely going to help, but I think you need to involve some of the tight end play because that secondary
are both healthy.
Luke Musgrave and
Tucker Kraft
are both playing, from what I saw. The one thing that the Niners are not good at is, and at least in my opinion, I know stats may show something else, I just don't think they're very good at covering.
They both suck in the secondary.
Ends.
They both suck in the secondary.
And I think you're going to see a lot of these tight ends early on get some throws. I think Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft are going to have a total of 8 to 12 catches in the game. I think obviously you're going to have some third and shorts that's going to go to these guys because it's a more physical type of environment for this game versus Dallas where they were pretty much waving the white flag at halftime.
That's crazy.
So one thing for Jordan Love that I just loved when he was at BYU, loved all season. It's just like the dude steps in the pocket and he gets comfortable, man. He sees the pressure in his face. And another guy who throws at defenders and he's okay with it. And for some reason, I've latched on to Jordan Love. And honestly, outside of the way he's played in college and some tape I've watched of him this year early on, I don't exactly know why I latched on to this dude. But for some reason, it just, he pulled me into a vortex.
He's got a great story.
And he does. It's just everybody was already doubting him. He's coming back on a 1-year deal. You don't know what you have. The Packers traded this Messiah, Aaron Rodgers, to the Jets. Now they're back in the playoffs again against, who would you have it? The 49ers. So in the last 30 years, there's an all-time record of 17-8. The Packers have won 17 of 8 games against the Niners.
But in the last 4 divisional round games,
it's been Packers 3-1.
The Niners have won it.
Was it the last divisional? Oh yeah, you're right. The Niners have won it. Yes.
I think it was they're 3-1 Niners the last 4 divisional games. So
could be the Packers.
That's a tough one, right? The last 4 divisional rounds, the Niners have won it.
or 3 out of the 4 Niners have won it.
30,
So
31 to 24.
quick tweet from 24/7 News. The only player who is on the active roster not going to play versus the Packers is Clelin Ferrell. So everybody is going to play.
Farrell, yeah.
And this means this is the healthiest the 49ers have ever been to start a playoff run in the Kyle Shanahan era. I have a question.
Okay.
Does the coach of the glass quarterbacks run into his same situation in this game as he did last year? A broken quarterback.
I don't want to see anybody get injured.
I don't want to see injuries. I'm just asking.
History
There's
has
a curse.
tendency of repeating itself.
There's definitely a curse, right? Like,
So I don't think he gets injured, but I think that Brock Purdy gets jarred. I think he gets off his game and he reverts back to what he did kind of in Cleveland and struggles. I think he makes some bad throws and they don't stretch the field as much because I'm telling you, this Packers secondary is not something to mess with. This Packers secondary is a tough bunch of guys.
yeah, but they're coached horribly.
Yeah, that's the one thing. They need to get a better DC. their offense is great, but their defense, oh gosh. There's a lot of bad plays, a lot of missed tackles, but other than that, they don't match up. This is another team, the tight end. Kittle is going to be the reason that the Niners won. I hate to say it. I think Kittle's the reason.
It's funny because I think that's Danielle's fear is Kittle in this game.
Yeah, that's the one guy that I don't like.
It's so hard to account for all those weapons. But I also agree with you that Green Bay's got a lot of weapons. It's about who makes the smartest decision, who protects the ball.
Yeah.
Which is why I say that the best running back wins this game. Because those running backs are going to be playmakers. And if I get CMC, who is the GOAT, who he can be the GOAT, right? Like, CMC has that potential to be the greatest of all time running back.
Yeah.
That's his potential. Aaron Jones is at the end of his career. That's not Aaron Jones' potential.
No, Aaron Jones his best years are behind him, at least regular season. Playoffs, I mean,
right, he could continue, right? Like, I'm not saying that he can't have like Derrick Henry end of career stats. He very well could. But my point is, like, CMC, he's still got another 2-3 years of great running, and he could be the greatest of all time. Now, Aaron Jones,
maybe
he could have a 200-yard game in him still.
Like we said, he's fresh. And I think he does. I think he has another good game like he has against Dallas. Obviously, it's not going to be 3 touchdowns and all those yards. I think it's going to be maybe a touchdown, maybe receiving touchdown, because in the games that
CMC, and I'm talking all-purpose yards, right? Like, I'm talking best running back in the game, all-purpose, because CMC is productive everywhere, and Aaron Jones can be, but they only really kind of utilize him in the run for the most part.
I got to give it to Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones takes it. I do.
So you think Aaron Jones is the better running back in this game? I don't disagree with you.
I do.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, I don't see everybody's going to say, Ari, I'm crazy because CMC is the GOAT at running back, like you said, but I just...
And if Jordan Love protects the ball, right, like, you're golden.
Yeah,
you're golden.
Give me Aaron Jones and the Packers, man. They're hungry. This team is hungry.
It's just weird. This is a weird week where me and you have both agreed on the underdogs. Like, it's a weird week. And I get it. A lot of people are picking the underdogs. It's just, it feels good. These teams feel good. Everything looks good. Everything's hitting the cylinders all at the same time. My only issue, right, is Green Bay's coaching could be an issue in this game.
Their defensive coaching is what scares me. Not offensive, defensive.
All right. I mean, I don't disagree. I'm going to give you my points. I'm going to say Green Bay takes this game 22-21.
I have 31-24 for the Packers.
Wow, you have a blowout.
No, it's win by a touchdown, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
31-24.
I heard 14.
No. I don't think
that's weird. That's weird.
I think this is another I think this is a back and forth game.
And like we said, they're
I don't think there's any scoring in the third quarter though.
I kind of wanted to say this was going to be a low scoring game, right? Like, I wanted to say maybe 17-14.
Yeah.
I could see that in this game. But it's weird because Green Bay's defense isn't that good.
You can see that in both games. Even with the Ravens game, these defenses might match up well to where you're kicking field goals up till halftime, and then maybe you come out and scheme a little bit different, and you get down there.
And that could be the losing purpose. Could that not be the losing factor for Green Bay, right?
Yeah, and that
the
could be the losing factor for the Texans. It's just
Kymie Fairbairn's good. That I'm talking kicker. I'm talking kicker.
I'm talking about adjustments coming out of halftime. If it's not working, let's say you're down. Let's say you're down, and the Ravens going into halftime.
No, because I
want to see how you scheme. I
think these are four of the better coaches in the NFL. I think these are four of the better coaches in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, I just want to see how DeMeco Ryan schemes. I want to see how he comes out and has a game plan for the second.
But it is interesting that the fan-owned team is producing with underage players, but a younger team.
Younger core.
And it's fan-owned. Cleveland. I'm just saying. Give us a chance to own the team, and we'll make some decisions for you that you should probably have made a long time ago. I ain't got nothing else for today. I'm going to be here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Will you be here tomorrow?
I will not. So
okay.
I'm going to give you my takes for those games real quick. I'm going to take Detroit 31-17. I think that game is a blowout for the Detroit-Tampa Bay game. And the Bills, give me the Bills 27-21. I think there's a reason why Patrick Mahomes has not played away in the playoffs, obviously, because he is a very good quarterback regardless. He's very good at home, but we have not seen him away on the road, and I think this is where it bites him in the ass. So give me the Bills.
All right. Any takeaways?
NBC Sports is assholes for pretty much taking out CJ Stroud's Christian statement of religion.
They did not. They did it with Jordan Love. Preseason, right? Like he wears a bracelet that says number 2 as a reminder.
So CJ Stroud, after the game, when they post-game interview on the sidelines,
he said
he wanted to thank God above anybody else. But NBC Sports cut that out.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they're under fire. Like it's all over, man. It's
bad.
I
didn't see that.
So I've lost respect for that. I mean, I'm religious.
I actually kind of.
As a kid,
I said this to my sister. I said it's what's really good to see. Two young guys who are wholehearted religious guys who are just good people doing good things.
And
that's great to see.
And so another thing about CJ Stroud is early on he said, I'm just happy I get to wake up every day and play football. It's a dream. Not everybody gets this. I'm one of the lucky few.
Based. It's based. I mean, it's seriously based.
What do you mean?
Based? It means that's real, based.
You could tell, he believes in it, man. He's not using it as a hey, let me get some fans. The kid believes in it.
Jordan Love does too. That's why I'm saying it's great to see these two young guys who are very public about
which I love
who they are.
Because with the media nowadays, everything's in your face, but that.
I love it.
So that'll be my takeaway.
I actually can't believe that was your takeaway. I love it. I did not know that though.
Yeah.
That kind of blows my mind. By the way, I agree with you. NBC, Peacock, go away.
Yeah,
go away. I am so sick of having to watch playoff games and pay for them. I pay for Sunday Ticket.
It should include everything.
I do not need to pay for Peacock. At all.
Yeah, another thing. Cancel your Peacock subscriptions.
Protest all Peacock. In all puns intended.
I'm so happy I haven't paid for cable in 7 months. Keep giving me those free trials, YouTube. Thanks.
You're on YouTube saying. They're like,
I don't care.
All right, wheels, account, gun. All right, that's just crazy. You'll get my takeaways tomorrow. We're gonna have our wonderful guest, DeMeco Ryans, will be here tomorrow. So you will see him tomorrow morning, and it'll be enjoyable. Outside of that, man, you assess DeMeco Ryans' post-game press conference. If you guys ever join the chat, you'll know who we're talking about. But yeah, that's kind of.
We gotta get him a blazer.
Oh my god! I just need a Houston Texans vest with a red shirt. Oh my god, it'd be hilarious. But that's kind of all I got for you guys today. Like I said, I will be here at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. I will be continuing the shows my normal days of the week. It'll be Sunday, Wednesday, and then Friday night. Sorry about this past week. Wheels will be continuing Wednesdays, and I'm pretty sure you said Sundays. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to trickle in Fridays
when you have free time. I get it. No, I completely get it. Friday night you said was hard for you just because it is late at night. It's honey time. All right, but
business out there.
But that's all we got for you guys today. I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday. Enjoy these playoff games and go Texans.
Yeah, go Texans, go Packers.
You were supposed to say go Packers. Like, go Texans, go Packers.
Go Bills.
All right, we're still working each other's personalities out. All right, peace out, guys.